Do you have low energy? Have you got crushing fatigue that just doesn't go away? Do you wake up tired and go to bed absolutely exhausted? Do your limbs just feel heavy and labored all the time? Do you feel brain fog? The acuity is just not there anymore. You just can't remember things anymore. You don't know what's going on as well as you used to. Are you having some weird twitching, like the muscles twitching, your arms twitching, your eyelids twitching? Let's look at the science behind why this is happening and what you can do about it. Take charge of this fully. Your body is trying to tell you something. You've got to listen to it. It is the best messenger, the best barometer of your health, and you've got to listen. I did listen, and as a result of that, I am now in a position where I have dealt with that horrible, evil, and nasty condition known as fibromyalgia, which 103 million people, when you combine it with people who are suffering with ME or chronic fatigue syndrome, have also got around the world. But this video is not just for those people, because at some point in our lives, we will suffer that fatigue, and we are looking out for what is causing it and what we can do about it, right? My name is Vish, and I hold a national role in science education, and I am a survivor, as I've said, of fibromyalgia, which I suffered with for 15 years. I had crushing fatigue, and plus I also had many other neurological symptoms as well. Supplementation is essentially how I changed my health around. I got back my life, so it can be done, and you can also do it if that's what you have. I'm here to help you take control over your own health and become masters of that, to hopefully take you to the utopia of health that every single person absolutely deserves. Okay, so let's go to it. Vitamin D will give you more energy. Along with B12, B9, B1, those are wonderful supplements to give you that energy that you need. And I'm going to break that down for you now. First, a little bit of biology 101. Your cells run on something called adenosine triphosphate, which is called ATP for short. And that is generated in your mitochondria, which are essentially the power plants of your cells. Vitamin D regulates over 200 of those mitochondrial genes, especially those driving something called oxidative phosphorylation. Now, it's just a posh way of saying getting the energy out from your nutrients. Without it, your mitochondria can't produce the energy required, and as a result of that, you will feel all the symptoms that we mentioned before. Secondly, your muscles. Oh my goodness, vitamin D helps control calcium inside your muscle cells. And ultimately, that's responsible for things like conduction, contraction, and endurance, and that's why deficiency is linked to weakness and fatigue. And that dreaded twitching. Oh my God, it was awful. I remember when I first came down with this particular condition back into 2010, 2011, I remember I had numbness. I had violent twitches in every part of the body you can imagine. The one that was most irritating, of course, is that annoying eyelid twitch. So it was only since I discovered supplementation with vitamin D and calcium and K2 and magnesium that those intermittent twitches went away. And it's because muscle cells contain vitamin D receptors. When the vitamin D lands on the receptor, those activate genes that regulates calcium transport proteins. And that essentially means that the calcium goes into your muscle fibers and ensures that that calcium is properly buffered and dealt with and moved about inside the cell. As a result, you end up faster, stronger, more efficient muscle contractions. You've got more power, more strength, more endurance, and without it, the opposite is true. You get more energy output during exercise, and deficiency, of course, will interrupt this. You'll end up with less ATP generation. You'll end up with more fatigue. And for goodness sake, please note, you need calcium also for digestive health. You need it for the production of digestive enzymes. It acts like a signal inside your cells to trigger the release of enzymes like amylase, which helps you break down starch, like protease, which will help you break down proteins. And it also supports the release of really important gut hormones like secretin and gastrin, which are really, really important for the production of enzymes within the digestive system. Evidence from human studies comes from a plethora of sources. So, for example, Singh et al. In 2013 from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, vitamin D deficient adults had smaller muscle fibers, and supplementation increased the size of those muscle fibers. In the Nature Communications 2022 article, vitamin D supplementation in older adults improved mitochondrial phosphorylation in the muscles and ATP production. And there are several vitamin B human trials that have been conducted to show the efficacy of their use as well. They work brilliantly together. It has changed my health radically. I am a different person. My mind is much sharper than it ever was. My physicality stronger. My performance better. So let's start with vitamin B1, which is otherwise known as thiamine. Now, I take benfotiamine myself, which is absolutely amazing. One randomized double-blind trial carried out in patients with inflammatory bowel disease, and they also, by the way, had chronic fatigue syndrome, showed that high-dosed oral supplementation of around about 600 to 1,800 milligrams a day, taken for 4 weeks, significantly reduced fatigue. Another study carried out by Costanini in 2013 showed that patients reported that high-dose thiamine was associated with a notable reduction in fatigue-related symptoms in patients with MS. Now, B9, otherwise known as methylfolate, or you can have it in the non-methylated version, which is what I have to have, which is called folinic acid. And folinic acid, I take these little babies here. I'm not sponsored by these guys. Of course, I'm just giving you what I tend to use. That's absolutely amazing for something called methylation. Now, the studies that I'm about to cite to you are done with something called folic acid, not folinic, not folate, because those two bodies of research are still developing. And so as a result of that, I can only go on what trial very, very regularly, which is folic acid, which is synthetic and is not as good. But hey ho, we have to work with what we've got, right? So supplementing 1 gram of folic acid for 3 months led to a reduction in reported fatigue. That was also very similar to a trial done involving 752 older adults between 60 and 74 years old, where they were taking 400 micrograms of folic acid and 100 micrograms of B12. And they found that that significantly improved memory issues. B12 is just magic. I just love vitamin B12. And B9 and B12, they are both involved in something called methylation. Now, methylation is involved in the generation of energy from your mitochondria. Without methylation, you would not have enough energy whatsoever. It is fundamental for the production of multiple things, methionine, homocysteine, etc., etc., etc. Now, I'm not going to get into that, but I will tell you that without methylation, you will probably be dead. Okay, so you need B12 to work with B9 to make sure that the methylation process happens effectively and that you get lots and lots of energy. Now, if you want to know more information about that, check out Dirty Genes by Dr. Ben Lynch, who's fabulous in this field. A pilot study done using B12 nasal drops from people who've got chronic fatigue syndrome showed that significant increases in physical activity were in evidence. There were significant reductions in fatigue scores as well. So in conclusion, please, please, please recognize that not just one supplement will take you out of this problem. I am not here being a proponent for just saying one thing or another. The only way you can beat this fatigue, brain fog, anxiety, depression, heavy feeling in your limbs, all of that horrible, horrible, vicious stuff that just steal your life. The only way you're going to do that is if you have a full-throttled, total approach to this, targeted from multiple angles, because that is the only way you can do this. But don't just think popping a vitamin will do the trick. It won't. you have to look at other areas of your life. Do you have toxins that you're taking into your diet? Are you having allergens into your system? Do you have H. pylori? Do you have leaky gut syndrome? Do you have small intestinal bacterial overgrowth? Do you have small intestinal fungal overgrowth? Because that's just a sensible approach. And I'm here to give you sensible approaches to get you the outcomes that you deserve. A gentle reminder that if you wish to access Elite Wellness Warriors on Instagram or Facebook, please click the link here and indeed here, where you can join a community of like-minded advocates for great health. So we look forward to seeing you there. And if you've liked what you've seen today, you've enjoyed what you've heard today, you found it useful, then please do smash like and hit the subscribe button, because of course that will help the algorithm reach out to as many people as possible who are really in need of help. And that's your contribution to that process, and I thank you so much for that. I have a new website landing very, very soon, where you can obviously reach out to me through that particular platform. But of course, the immediate way that if you want to discuss, open any conversations with me, I will try and always answer as many of your questions as possible. Then please do comment below. All right, folks, and that is it from me for today. I will see you in the next video, and I really, really wish you all the very best in the world. I wish you the greatest health, and may you be surrounded by healing light always. Mwah. Lots of love. Take care. Bye-bye.